It has come to my attention that there is a huge misconception when it comes to not only Batman but fiction. Now, I posted this video last week on is Arkham Batman carried by plot armor, and I received a lot of mixed comments and emotions, some thinking that he is in fact carried by plot armor and some thinking that he isn't. Now, the word plot armor gets tossed around so freely by people who don't even know what it is or means. But Arkham Gang, today I will be addressing common arguments against Batman and be clearing up this huge misconception. Before we get into the video though, let's do this week's sub shout out. Today we'll be shouting out my boy Michael Myers. Thanks for the sub, gang. I really appreciate it. Thanks for showing love to the channel. But without further ado, let's get into the vid. Now, the Batman haters have always been very delusional and are in fact blinded by their hate for the character and they can't even think logically. They've completely lost the ability to think with reason because for some reason they just don't like the character. One of the main talking points and main arguments against Bruce that I've ever heard personally is Batman can't do what he does and performs the feat that he does because he's a regular human, and call every extraordinary feat he performs plot armor. Now let's take this same logic and apply it to other characters whose names are never associated with plot armor by these haters, by the way. Peter Parker was a regular human before being bit by a spider, right? Was he not a normal human just like a human in our real world? Okay, so him surviving a radioactive spider bite means he had plot armor because regular humans would die in 15 seconds after the bite. So what does this help us logically conclude? It helps us logically conclude that he either isn't a normal human or he's the god of plot armor. I would assume that the Batman haters would say Peter before the bite was a higher version of a human with special abilities and has special capabilities that allow him to turn into a man who swings and shoots webs. Or they would just admit he's a god of plot armor like they do with Batman. Their own logic corners them. It's hilarious. So by this logic, we can prove Spider-Man's whole existence is just plot armor because he shouldn't have survived the bite. This is by definition plot armor because plot armor is main character surviving dangerous, life-threatening situations because he is needed for the plot to continue. So to all the Batman haters, for you guys to admit Batman has plot armor, you would also have to admit every other superhero who gains special abilities through something dangerous is walking plot armor. Captain America should have died in the council, Flash should have been killed by lightning, and Hulk should have been vaporized after being exposed to that much gamma radiation. Can someone please prove to me or show me where it objectively says fictional humans are synonymous to regular real-life humans and have to abide by real-life humans' capabilities, potential, and limits? These Batman haters really think they're anything like the guy on the screen. It's actually hilarious. But let's take a look at anime. Saitama, aka One Punch Man, is a human, yet he punches the face of Jupiter into oblivion and destroys millions of galaxies in a clash. Can anyone tell me where people call Saitama the king of plot armor? People always argue, well, Batman beat a bunch of rogues in 12 hours, that's plot armor. Bro, that is nothing compared to what other fictional humans do. But why is Bruce the one receiving all of this hate? These humans exist everywhere in fiction, and there are probably the highest number of species, and in no way, shape, or form is their existence obligated to abide by normal real-world human limitations, capabilities, and potential. Because this isn't real life, this is fiction. A world where there is no limit. The world where anything can be done. Now, just give me a second while we take one quick look at the Arkhamverse. Joker, after being exposed by a bunch of deadly chemicals, turned into a comedian with a gun. Kirk Langstrom, aka the Man-Bat, turns into a literal huge man merged and fused with a bat-type being. Azrael was a cop before turning into a character who could rival Batman. There are literal flying aliens and men who could do whatever they want via using a ring. Does any of this point towards regular real-life humans to you guys in your head? People will literally look at this and be like, yeah, that world is just like ours. Long story short, the ceiling, potential, capabilities, and limits for fictional humans is a completely different thing entirely from a regular real-life humans. In no way, shape, or form should anyone be assuming a fictional human is anything like a regular human. Let's also take a look at Firefly. He's flying around in a suit blasting fire with 4th-degree burns. Last time I checked, people with 4th-degree burns can't even move without assistance. Yet he is flying around doing vicious motions, blasting buildings with fire. A normal human wouldn't be able to do this. All of these factors in the Arkhamverse just point to the fact and help us conclude humans function on an entirely different scale in this universe. I'm surprised it's actually something I have to explain on the video. Shake my head. I guess because maybe Batman has a more realistic approach, people think he's a regular human, but that just isn't the case. Look at all the other feats he's performed in the Arkham games. It's very consistent, pointing to the nature of the Arkhamverse being that humans function differently. People always hop on Bruce's corn dog, but never talk about the fact that a bunch of other humans in the Arkhamverse basically do the same shit he does. It's not plot armor, gang. It's just the nature of the verse and the characters to be this insane. Yes, they are categorized as humans, but no, they aren't what we think humans are. Fighting Croc, Grundy, Clayface would just upscale Batman to that level they are at, meaning no, Batman didn't need plot armor against those characters. He's just at that level. Plot armor happens once in a while, yes, I will admit, but Bruce consistently performs these superhuman feats, so what does that mean? What does it mean if a character is consistently performing these feats? Doesn't it sound like the devs of the game are trying to tell us something? Doesn't it sound like the image they're trying to create for Batman is being greater than what we think a human is? Doesn't it sound like the premise of Arkham Batman is to be a monster rather than being the king of plot armor? Name me one author or developer who woke up one day and said, I'm gonna make a character the god of plot armor. No, bro, they just genuinely made the Arkham Batman that strong, that fast, that tough. It's who they wanted him to be. But what do y'all boys think? If y'all need any more further clarification on anything, y'all could definitely comment down below. But again, can't believe I had to explain any of that and it wasn't already common sense. But y'all boys have a good one. Arkham gang, I'm out.